gathered together with you. This has been a long time in coming, so let me start by saying thank you to every one of you in this room. You've all been tremendous partners over the years. It seems like yesterday, but it was really about almost 16 years ago that we dusted off the I-73 proposal that had been sitting on the shelf for about 15 years. And we linked arms as a community. We came together, and we have been working together ever since to make I-73 a reality. So let me kick this off by saying thank you, and let's give everybody here and the community of Myrtle Beach a round of applause. Thank you. This really is an exciting time. We are on the cusp of achieving interstate connectivity for Myrtle Beach. What does that mean for us? It's one of the biggest pieces, it is the biggest piece of the economic development puzzle that we are missing in this region. With interstate connectivity, I-73 to 95, we are going to be able to attract businesses from around the country to do business here in Horry County and along the I-73 corridor. We're projecting over 29,000 jobs. 29,000 jobs that will come with I-73. The majority of those jobs are permanent jobs, not jobs that go away when the road is complete. They're jobs that will stay. Now, can you imagine coupling the beautiful Grand Strand, the beautiful weather that we have here, the great people that we have here, our willing workforce, our technical colleges, and then coupling that with a world-class transportation system? What industry could say no to locating in this area? It is just, and then, thank you. And then add to that the tourism factor, the increased tourism, which has for so many decades driven our economy, both here in our region and for the entire state. It is a tremendously exciting thing. I'm also excited that when President Trump was here in South Carolina last, he again affirmed his support of I-73. It's not the first time he's done that. Ever since he was on the campaign trail, he has been publicly endorsing I-73, and now he's referring to it as America's infrastructure poster child. Yeah, you deserve a round of applause for that. And the next step is for our Department of Transportation Commission, many of whom are here tonight. In fact, I'd like you to stand. If you serve on the Department of Transportation or have served on the Department of Transportation Commission, please stand. Please stand. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much for all you've done. I remember Moot Trueluck is here somewhere, and Moot, raise your hand. Where are you? Jump up and down. I can't see you. Anyway, he's here somewhere. Moot was on the Department of Transportation some 13 or 14 years ago. And we were grappling with North Carolina at the time about connectivity for I-73 between North Carolina and South Carolina. And so I invited the commissioners from North Carolina and South Carolina to Myrtle Beach for a conference. Many of you in this room joined us for that conference. When we left that conference, our Department of Transportation and North Carolina Department of Transportation had shook hands on a deal that gave us interstate connectivity, not just for I-73, but for I-73 and I-74. That moment kick-started the I-73 process that we see culminating today. So I thank you, Department of Transportation Commission members, both old and new. And I look forward to working with the Department of Transportation Commission as we move forward to be the most competitive and compelling story to be told in President Trump's infrastructure program. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a group process to get where we are this evening. A significant part of this team is Congressman Tom Rice. Congressman Rice went into office Congressman Rice went into office with a pledge to deliver on I-73, and he has kept that pledge. He has not just talked the talk, but he has walked the walk in Washington. All of his colleagues know the importance of I-73, and he receives their support. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, after thanking you for getting us where we are this evening, I'd like to invite Congressman Rice to come forward and share his thoughts with us.
You know, I don't just represent Horry County, I represent the 7th District. I-73 doesn't just come to the coast, it goes through Marion and Dillon and Marlborough counties. And there are folks here from every one of those counties here tonight. And those are three of the poorest counties in South Carolina. And this road gives them such incredible opportunity. What I always say is infrastructure equals opportunity. And they traveled all the way here to be with us tonight. So let's hear it from the representatives of Marion and Dillon and Marlborough. Thank you for being here. I have to say, when I got to Washington, and I would talk about I-73, in Washington it wasn't a very frequently discussed topic. But one thing that gave me a huge advantage was that there was an earmark. You know, earmark's an evil word now. You can't set aside money for a specific project. And the earmark king, the anti-earmark king, was a fellow named Jim DeMint from South Carolina. He pretty much single-handedly ended earmarks in Washington, right? Well, before he decided to do that, he had set aside $90 million in an earmark for I-73. And so that earmark allowed us to do all this work that we got done from nowhere to permit. I got to office in January and February, and I called the Army Corps in February. We met at the Georgetown Port. I said, I want to know where we are on the Georgetown Port, I-73, and Highway 31 extension. They told me what I had to do for all three. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I want to meet every month, and I want to know what we've gotten done on our checklist from here to permit. They told me it would take 1 to 3 years to get to the permit on 31. They told me it would take 5 to 7 years on I-73. And they told me I had to find a certain amount of money that I'm not going to talk about for Georgetown Port. So, we started meeting every month, and they got tired of meeting with me pretty quick. It took me 4 months to get the permit for 31. It took 4 years to get the permit for I-73. And let me tell you, there's a lady here in the audience who's going to get up and talk to you next. She's the Secretary of Transportation in South Carolina. Her name's Christy Hall. And when I got to Congress, you know, I'd been a tax lawyer for 25 years, and I knew a lot about the tax code. But I didn't know that much about how to build a road. And that lady put up with nonsense for me for 4 years. Where are you, Christy? Where are you? Right there. She deserves a huge round of applause. And when I would get frustrated, she would be calm. And when I would fuss, she would say, now. And I will tell you that I became great friends with her. And I became great friends with the general over the Southeast Division of the Army Corps of Engineers. And between the two of them, the general was retiring in July of this year. Dan Turner, he's not here tonight. He was here a couple of months ago. And Dan Turner told me, you will have that permit before I retired, and we got the permit in June. I want a random applause for Dan Turner, even though he's not here tonight. But we had our ups and downs over those years, didn't we, Christy?
Yes, sir.
But we finally pushed that thing across the line, and I'll tell you, so many people have played an integral role in this, from Alan Clements, what a champion, to Mike Wooten, you know, our representative on it. Mike Wooten, let's have a round of applause for Mike. On the Highway Commission. So many good things that we've worked on for all these years that are all culminating at one time. You know, when I went to Congress, I said infrastructure is opportunity. The nameplate on my desk in Horry County here said jobs, jobs, jobs. That same nameplate is on my desk in Washington. Jobs, jobs, jobs. And just think about what's happened recently. And it's not just, you know, it's not magic. Somebody said, how did the permit for I-73 come about so quickly? And I looked at him and I said, 4 years of hard work. We got the permit for I-73 in June. They started beachfront renourishment in May, right? The Dillon Inland Port is under construction right now to be finished in April, and that's a generational change for those very poor counties. And right now, I was in Marion County earlier today, they're rebuilding houses with $90 million of assistance money from Hurricane Matthew that we helped get. Now, let me tell you this, none of that happened because of me, but we played a part. It took a team. Probably everybody in this room participated to some extent. It takes a team of people to get these things done. But people can look and they can see it's not just talk. You know? It's not just talk. These are real things that people can put their hands on and they can see we are fulfilling what we said we would do. We are putting infrastructure in place, and infrastructure equals opportunity. And that's locally. Nationally, tax reform. Wow, the House passed it yesterday. So my friends, there are many, many good things happening. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for sending me to Congress. And I've already really given her an introduction. She's coming after me. Our Secretary of Transportation, Christy Hall. I'm telling you, this lady is not only a brilliant administrator, but she also has the patience of Job to put up with somebody like Tom Rice and shepherd him through the process of getting a permit for an interstate. Christy, come on up. I have to say one more thing, and I will sit down before I turn the microphone over to her, but my first year in Congress, they put me on the Transportation Committee. Thank you, God. Bill Schuster, the chairman of the Transportation Committee, he came here, he stayed at my house. And we did a little fundraiser for him here. We put him in a helicopter, we flew him out 501 on a busy day. And we flew him back down the route of Highway 22. We met with Trump's transportation czar, his name's DJ Gribbin. We met in Schuster's office. When Gribbin walks into Schuster's office like a month ago, Bill Schuster looked at DJ Gribbin and he said, we have got to get this interstate. The Grand Strand gets 18 million tourists a year, and they need it also for hurricanes. He was quoting statistics that we told him 3 years ago. So relationships matter. Again, thank you for sending me Christy Hall.
Her staff was sweet enough to the day after we got the permit for I-73 to send me the first I-73 sign. It's in my office, and it will be framed and matted, and it will be hung somewhere in high prestige, either in my house. Gail, can I hang it there? Or at the farm. Can I hang it there, baby? Okay. But I'm passing the torch. I'm not on DOT anymore, but Tony is. And if I had the opportunity to hand select my successor, it would have been Tony Cox. Not only is he a great guy and a great friend, but he's a very, very conscientious, hard-working individual who knows how to do things in the state. And Tony, I-73, and last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank Gail. She has endured me being gone for 4.5 years. And when I get home, it's always back to work. And I've got 3 partnerships in my life. I've got the partnership with my wife for now 40 years. I've got the partnership with my buddies who we own a farm together and I try to spend time with them. And I've got a partnership with the partners at DDC Engineers. I'm afraid the one partnership that really got neglected during my tenure at DOT was a partnership with Gail, and I'm doing my best to make amends with that. So, and baby, happy birthday. Hey. So, again, thank all of you for your support. This has been a real team effort. If not for Tom, if not for Brad, if not for Shep, if not for Mark Kelly, this is like a very complex machine that had hundreds of cogs and spokes. And for some reason or another, I was lucky enough to be your highway commissioner when everything meshed up. And for everybody in here that had any part to do with it, whether a big spoke or a small spoke, if anything had gotten out of alignment, this wouldn't have happened. This would not have happened. And I thank each and every one of you for any role that you played in this entire process. And I'm going to turn it over to Tom. Thank you so much.
Let's have a big hand for Mike. And I think we'd be very remiss if we didn't sing happy birthday to Gail. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gail. Happy birthday to you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Todd Setzer with the Myrtle Beach Chamber.
I've had the opportunity to speak at a lot of functions this year. One of my goals was not to have to follow Mike Wooten. So unfortunately, he made that wish not come true. Congratulations all that are here. On behalf of the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, what a huge success this is to be here. It's a unique opportunity. If you're like me, I've never been to a permit party, but I believe I-73 deserves that uniqueness. We've had a lot of folks that have put in a lot of hard work. And besides I-73, I think tonight is an opportunity to celebrate folks that have come together, all parties involved, to make a common goal come true. I-73, local government, our friends in Columbia, and our friends in Washington, D.C. And so I-73 is going to have a positive impact on not only Horry County, it's going to have a positive impact on South Carolina and areas beyond. As folks mentioned earlier, there's so many folks that played a vital role, but I'd like to mention a few of those. Some of those are our former commissioners of the DOT, Lois Ergel, Morgan Martin, Gary Loftus, Billy Alford, and Danny Isaac, and of course Mike Wooten. Thank you guys for your service, and ladies. A lot of hard work and years in the making. And I've been informed over the past few weeks, somebody that we wanted to make sure we did recognize, and as I was told by one of the former commissioners, the unsung hero, former commissioner of the State Infrastructure Bank, Mr. Don Leonard. And so thank you for your service. Thank you, Don. In closing, I'd like to make a toast. So the toast to the great leaders who remain committed to I-73 through their vision, through their passion, and through their perseverance over the past 25 years. The opportunities that are going to be created for our residents and visitors of this community have yet to be felt. So the path to I-73 is one step closer to our path to progress. To I-73. The party's still remaining. The fantastic shakers are coming out. Please stick around, socialize, and again, congrats to all. Enjoy the evening.